The worst songs of 2024. 2024 has actually been a pretty excellent year in pop music. There's been so many great releases, which makes the stinkers stick out even more. This is not a numbered list because there are too many songs I share the same amount of dislike for various reasons. But I know what you came here for, so let's hop right into it. Woman's World by Katy Perry. Starting off this conversation with what undeniably made the most noise in 2024 in the worst way possible. Woman's World by Katy Perry, and really, her entire album went for 3. A lot of y'all are going to be mad at me for saying this, but even JoJo Siwa had a better single than Katy Perry. Where do we even start? It's still kind of mind-boggling to me after 2 consecutive lukewarm releases, she topped it off with a release that makes those 2 previous releases sound so much better in comparison. And how can someone who was on top, not even that long ago, be so clueless to the current cultural climate? There's so many factors that goes into this song being bad. Women's rights is a major talking point right now, so it's tone deaf to release a song where it's like, it's a woman's world, and I mean maybe that aspect could be passable if the song was good. It has the most non-interesting, most brain-dead lyrics, the production is stale, Katy sounds touched up, and not in an interesting way, what was going on in the studio type of way. Despite the controversy that follows Dr. Luke, for those of you that don't know, he was accused of sexual assault by Kesha. Many people, including myself, thought maybe some good music will come out of this because Dr. Luke did produce all of Katy's classic work, but the album proved to me that Dr. Luke and Katy Perry are both creatively bankrupt and out of touch. In a year where the stage was set for Katy Perry and her music, her type of music and image to regain the spotlight, she just totally missed the mark. It's one of those instances where I really don't think there is a redemption arc for this song or album. I still question why her and her team went ahead with this album after the reception to Woman's World. That should have been a sign to go back to the drawing board. It is just a very vapid and dated pop album and song that sounds completely soulless, like there's no human touch at all. This album and era is kind of fascinating when you center the question, how did this happen? Who greenlit this? Did anyone warn her against this? I want to know more about that aspect. But ultimately, Woman's World is as bad as everyone says, and will go down in history as one of the greatest misfires in a pop career. Beautiful Things, Benson Boone. Benson Boone has been receiving attention as pop's new it boy, largely at the hands of Beautiful Things. Benson Boone has all the check marks for a pop it boy. He has the looks, he has a stage presence, and he clearly has some type of vocal talent. But there's a major error, the music. Beautiful Things sucks. The whole staccato screeching chorus over the most melodramatic 2010s production is one of the biggest ear crimes I've heard all year. And I have no problem with yelling as a stylistic choice, that's obviously very common in rock or rock-inspired music, but I hate the way the hook is built around his yelling. It doesn't have any real tune going for it, and he also just sounds very irritating on the song. And I also think it's one of those songs that have extremely boring verses, and they just decide to put all the energy into the song's chorus. It's like a mix of Louis Capaldi and Imagine Dragons. We have enough of that, we do not need more. Alibi, Ella Henderson. Most of you probably remember Ella Henderson for her song Ghost, which was a big hit in 2014 and has since gone on to play in shopping malls worldwide. Since then, she's clung to faceless DJ songs which happen to be extremely popular in the UK. Acts like Rita Ora and BB Rexa have sustained their career using this method as well. However, Ella's most recent venture into this direction, called Alibi, is one of her worst ventures into this area and of her career. It samples Coolio's Gangsta Paradise, which also sampled Stevie Wonder's Pastime Paradise, so Stevie Wonder is credited on this awful song. It is just an uninspired mush piece of pop, overproduced, underwrought, and a sign of a terrible trend that needs to go for once and for all. Lose Control by Teddy Swims. This song has really gained steam and set the stage for Teddy Swims as a breakout artist. It's pretty solid vocally. Lyrically, it's nothing you haven't heard. This is the type of song a dad who finds solace at the bar latches onto as an example of real music. But I just can't stand how fake this song sounds. Like this TikTokified, peppy, overproduced aspect of a song that's trying to be soul-bearing. This is just not how you do soul or pop soul. It's an inch away from the Meghan Trainor wheelhouse. Thank You the Shit, Fart, Ice Spice. Ice Spice has had such a rise and such a fall. Her album did everything that a debut album was not supposed to do. It made people fall out of love with her. Ice Spice cannot carry a full body of work on her own. Lyrically, she talks in circles, she uses the same flow, same concept. I still struggle to understand why Ice Spice got such a big push, and one that's not just on magazine covers or in interviews, but one where she got to collaborate with music's biggest superstars by doing so little. To me, Ice Spice is what happens when you become a meme, but 1, you don't know how to pull yourself out of that territory, or 2, you just don't have the talent to. And I really think it's a combination of both. One major running joke in Ice Spice's artistry is poop, and I think it's one of the wackiest and least funny gimmicks a rapper or any artist could adopt. I feel like my brain turning into mush when I hear her. To add, the fart song was supposed to be a diss towards the rapper Lotto, but if anything, this song shows that Ice Spice doesn't hold a candle to Lotto. It's not funny enough to be camp, it's not skillful enough to be good, and I think this song as well as her album proves that her rapping ability is just as shitty as her songs, literally. Love On, Selena Gomez. Love On by Selena Gomez, where do I start? One of the worst songs I've heard all year. I was appalled that someone with Selena's experience, someone who knows what her most acclaimed and liked songs are, someone who has been at it for so long, still can't seem to get it right. This song was abysmal. I dislike everything about it. First of all, it is a bit late on the disco trend, but I soon found out it's not really the sonic direction that's the problem, because Sabrina Carpenter came out with Espresso and blew everything out of the water. Selena just didn't have the finesse to pull off a song like this. It just misses every mark it tries to hit. The autotune and vocal processing in this song is laughably overbearing to the point where you can't even understand what Selena is saying at certain points in the song. I was just like, how can someone with this much money have such bad vocal production? It's like she and her team all heard it and was like, yeah, this is good enough. Vocal processing does not mask Selena's less than stellar performance, it only amplifies it. I strongly dislike this cram-fisted Julia Michaels style of writing on this particular song, mostly due to Selena's performance. The instrumental itself is fine, it's generic, but I think it has some bones for a decent song. The lyrics aren't the worst, but the quirky bits don't really land. Whenever Selena Gomez releases new music, I have zero expectations. I don't expect anything. But the song wasn't boring, it was bad. Selena recently said she doesn't feel like she has much more music left in her and wants to focus her time on acting. And really, I think that's the best case scenario. Grippy, Cash Cobain, and J. Cole. 2024 has been an interesting year for J. Cole. He was briefly involved in the Kendrick and Drake beef and quickly backpedaled. But more than that, he has not been on his game musically this year at all. Every J. Cole song might not be fire, but there's a level of taste that I associate with him as an artist. And this might sound so pretentious, but it's the truth. When you built up your status and prestige, and then you start taking on stuff that is beneath you, then you cheapen your brand. There's nothing wrong with party rap, but I don't think that's Cole's strong suit, and even then, this type of party rap is well beneath him. His song Grippy with Cash Cobain is so horrible, it's perplexing. It has this very spacey lo-fi production with a drill beat underneath it, and it just does not work. J. Cole tries to do some auto-tune crooning, and the song itself sounds like a demo. It's just a mesh of two worlds that shouldn't collide, in a world that J. Cole honestly doesn't really have the finesse to fit into. Spicy Margarita, Jason Derulo, and Michael Bublé. The crossover, the title gives every indication that the song will be bad. It almost feels like an attempt at rage bait. It's built on the classic songbook song, Sway, with some very bad lyrics and awful production. Hey, you're my spicy margarita, babe. Burn my tongue, make me shake. Mix it up or give it to me straight. Like, is this supposed to be sexy? It does not sound remotely sexy. In the second verse, are we going shot for shot? She think I'm Jordan, but she screamed Derulo. My ego enormous. Jason Derulo is an interesting case study because it's like, is he serious? Surely he has to be in on the joke. I hope so, because this is rolls away from like What You Say, The Other Side, Riding Solo, some Jason Derulo songs that I could get behind at least. This Michael Bublé song was clearly made to be an extension of Jason's TikTok domination, but it is so bad.